While in Florida, we got to see cows. Sea cows.
Hi, we're the Care Kids.
Our parents are crazy. They want to take us on a year-long trip.
They call it an empathy expedition.
We're traveling the states to discover what makes us united.
50 states in 52 weeks.
And I saw you, cause I wanna be like the wind. I wanna run with you. Oh, we can be wolves, howling at the great white moon. I wanna be by your side when we light up the sky for the world to see. Run, 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 run with me.
This is awesome! This is awesome!
You catch
A lizard.
a teeny tiny
Here she
lizard.
goes.
Wow, look how small he is.
He's tiny. Hey,
Squish him.
it's okay.
What do you think of that?
I think he's awesome. I think he's cute. Hey, don't come on.
Here, let me put him on my thumb. See if he'll go on my thumb.
Oh, he will go on your
Okay, let's see.
There he is.
We also got to see manatee. Now, we didn't know too much about manatee before this trip.
Yeah, in the wintertime, the manatees swim out of the colder waters and into the more local rivers where the water is a little warmer.
Yeah, there are lots of hot springs all throughout Florida, and the manatee love that area. And so we got to be really close to them. They're amazing little animals. Well, they're not little. They're amazing big animals.
Another wild animal that we didn't really know existed a lot in Florida were bears. Our friends that we met up with said that they have a constant problem with bears going through their garbage cans and climbing up in their trees. And yeah, of course we knew that, that Florida's loaded with alligators and crocodiles, but we didn't know about bears. That was interesting to find out.
Hey, there's some birds over there, Dad.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
While in Florida, we also wanted to meet a family who was from a different country. So Haiti is very, very close to Florida, and we thought that that was a great location to meet some Haitians.
So some friends of ours hooked us up and introduced us to their friends from Haiti.
My name's AJ, I guess.
Hi, Zoe. I'm Josette.
Hello.
Hi.
How are you?
Good, how are you?
And this is Adley. And we have been married for
Forever.
forever.
They are two Haitians who are both doctors. They immigrated from Haiti and raised their family in Florida.
So how long have you guys been here in Florida?
We came in Florida in 1991. So that's what, 26 years now. And prior to that, we were living in Michigan, where we spent 10 years in Michigan. That's where I completed my training in medicine, and my wife also did complete her training in medicine in Michigan. So after 10 years of living in Michigan, where it's pretty cold during the winter, it's very, very cold. So we wanted to come to a place where it's warmer. And Florida was a natural place to think about coming. Because the climate in Florida is pretty close to what we have in Haiti. And we used to come to Florida on vacation, like once a year. And one time we decided, well, instead of coming on vacation to Florida, let's just come to Florida to stay. And we ended up staying in Florida. That was 1991, 26 years ago. I think it was a very good decision. So really enjoy it.
They were quite the unstoppable couple, you know. They came from a country that was very impoverished, and just getting an education alone in Haiti was a huge challenge for them.
I am from a family of 8 children. So for my family, education was very important. So even though financially we had no money whatsoever, but my parents wanted us to all be very educated. In Haiti, you speak Creole and French. Creole, everybody speaks Creole. Creole is kind of a mixture of African language and French language and Spanish language and English. And then French, of course, because we were a French colony, so we speak French. But mostly the people who go to school can speak French well. In a family, the person that they feel like to study the most, they will tell you, why don't you go to med school or go do this? And I just happen to be the one of those who love to read, and it was my passion, and my parents encouraged me, and they were like, you like to read and you like to teach, why don't you go to med school? So I was like, okay. We had only one medical school at that time, and it was government.
State.
And it was extremely hard to be admitted. So the whole issue is to get admitted. So they will have thousands of applicants, and they will take, the first year they will take 300 people, and by the second year there are only 100 people.
When you finish high school, you go to the track that leads you toward a medical degree. So that track is 6 years.
Yeah, it's very hard to pass from one year to the other. So you can get kicked out from at any year, second year, third year, fourth year.
It's very rigorous.
It depends on the grade that you have. So you really have to study intensely all the time.
When you come to the United States, you have to pass the equivalent test to give you the right to start internship again. Even if you were a super surgeon in any other country, you cannot come here and say, I'm going to practice surgery, because in my country I was super top of the line surgeon. You have to start all over again and go to your internship and go back to your residency training and get the equivalence.
So the challenge for us was because we were speaking only French. So when we came here, we had to take the test to do all those things in English. And it was really hard because I couldn't speak any English at all when I came here.
We met in medical school.
Yeah.
Medical school.
Yeah. Yeah.
We have been together since 1978, you know. She has been following me everywhere.
They didn't let cultural stereotypes or expectations define how their life should look. They both wanted to be doctors, and they both wanted to have children, and so they both became doctors, and they both raised the children.
By the third child, my husband was doing well financially, and so I didn't have to work as hard. And it wasn't really for the finances, just because I wanted to. I felt like, you know, I'm a physician and that's what I like to do. I didn't want to stay home. I did not want to stay home at all. For my husband, I really would have preferred for a long time that I stayed home.
Yeah.
It was very kind of disappointing for him, because he really would have preferred that I was a housewife.
Sure. It just happened that both of us were in the same field. It's not that I was looking, I don't know, for you, that I was looking for a wife physician, kind of, you understand? Because as
it was
my wife
more
said,
challenging. I'm a family physician, and I love being a doctor, actually. I've never been burned out by medicine. I love my patients. I love what I'm doing. I'm working right now with my husband, who is the best.
Yeah. I'm also a physician. I'm a psychiatrist by training. I did practice psychiatry for more than 30 years, but lately I've mostly been doing clinical research. And the other thing that I like doing is to go to those medical mission trips, and I really enjoy that a lot. I do them as often as I can, usually 3 or 4 times a year. So that's practically it.
And we have 3 wonderful children. We are all
4 grandchildren too.
4 grandchildren. We have 5. One is gone, but we have 5 grandchildren.
It was very interesting to hear their perspective on Haiti and on the people there. So they've gone back several times. They go back and contribute to the economy and contribute to the people who live in Haiti, because they feel like it's very important to help their fellow countrymen. At the same time, they also feel like Florida is their home.
So it wasn't like, oh, I'm living in a country that's so poor. I think we understood the poverty in Haiti mostly when we came to the United States.
So it's a poor country, it's not a rich country at all.
So Haiti is extremely poor and it's very close to a country that's extremely rich. The way Haitians are living, it's almost like 200 years from there. So we have a lot of things that are up to date, like phones and TVs and things like that. But everything else, the basics, we are still fighting for the basic. There are many things we are fighting for that people over the world are no longer fighting for, which is, what am I going to feed my kids tomorrow? Where am I going to sleep? How can I afford a doctor for my kid? Medication that are very basic. People not only don't have it, but don't even understand that they can find it. I have one sister that lives in Haiti with my mom, and she is an American citizen. Is she citizen? Well, anyway, she can come back and forth, but
she's a resident.
She chose to stay with my mom. But I will call her, and she will tell me, "Oh, I have such a headache," and I'm like, "Oh, just take a Tylenol." She's like, "I don't have Tylenol." I'm like, "Why don't you have?" So it's almost like you don't think about, here we have pain, we take something for it.
The majority of people do not have too much, but they do a lot with whatever they have. They make it work. So sometimes the kids will go without eating some days if there is no food in the family, but generally speaking, they find ways to feed their family, and they will try to do whatever work they can find to feed their family. Oftentimes people will just go to the field, and just pick up corns, pick up beans and stuff, and feed themselves like that.
Most people who have education try to come to the United States by plane, by getting a legal way to come, just like we did. You go to the embassy, you apply for a visa, and they ask you questions, and then they grant it. But there is that group of people who doesn't qualify, and they are the one that they call boat people. They come illegally by boats, and they usually are people who come from the mountains that have no education. It's almost like the future is so bleak. It's like there is nothing they can do for their family, so they will take a boat, and those boats are not seaworthy. Many people die on the process of trying to come here. So when the ones that arrived usually will arrive in the coast of Miami. When we talk about Haiti, this is the group that you will hear talking about the most, because they are the ones that make it to the TV storyline. But the majority of Haitians don't come to the United States like that. They apply for a visa and they come, and there are a lot of them are like us, professionals that have an education and want to pursue more studies. But Haiti has a very bad political climate. So I think more than the poverty, that's what makes people not stay in Haiti. When you go there, it's the safety issue because of the political climate. And I think if the political climate was better, most of us, mostly my husband, my brother, who is just like my husband, my little brother, his heart belongs to Haiti. They all would love to go back there to stay. But it's just like get there and you feel that insecurity. So that's what makes a lot of people stay here.
The two families that we met in Florida both were really interesting to me because they saw something that they wanted to do and they went after it. And that was something that stuck out to me on our Florida trip.
Neither of them are afraid of hard work, right? They just, I think that's a common theme that we've come across over and over. Just people who, they have dreams and they want to do hard things, and so they just have to buckle down and get to work.
Yeah. And I hope that that's something that our children are learning, because we're trying to teach them sometimes hard work is great. Most times hard work is really worth it.
Mm-hmm. Most of the time we all want to avoid it like the plague, but in the end it's rewarding. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Okay, great. I'll try to waken up. Look alive! We're tired.
We are tired. You can tell. In Florida, we